This build is for all of y'all out there who struggle with aiming or just want to not think about it, honestly. We are going to go through the smart weapons today and make a build centered around the auto-aim smart targeting functionality to clear enemies quickly and speedily through the battlefield. Let's go. This video is sponsored by me. If you like these build videos, be sure to subscribe and check out some of the others that I have on the channel. I do have a few more coming out over the next week or so, over Christmas as well, so be sure to keep an eye out for that. This build is perfect for those that struggle with aiming with either a mouse or a controller, and it is the complete opposite to the rifle build that I did last week, which was about one-shotting enemies via headshots and bunkering down in a single location. So this build is really about constant movement and constant shooting, and we're not really worrying about the fear of missing because of the smart targeting system, which will aim for you, and it's really about getting speed buff so that you can move quickly. The auto aim will aim for you and just jump around the battlefield. I've actually got the double jump cyberware mod equipped, so it just makes it so much more fun to just speed around the battlefield and double jump and just really have a great time. Let's get into the attributes for this build. The main two attributes you need are reflexes and cool. Both should be trying to get them to 20. Reflexes for the SMGs and the rifle perks. It also increases your passive evasion, which is super important as we're not going to be behind cover really at all. So passive evasion is really powerful here. Cool is primarily used for the cold blood perks, which we are leveraging here for a sustained survivability and extra damage in combat. However, the increased crit damage and all resistances increase that you get for having a high cool is a solid bonus all around as well. The rest of your points you should be dumping into body for the extra HP and stamina, although stamina becomes less important as you get extra perks through this line. And some of the perks here in the Annihilation line, if you get body to 16, which you will be able to do very late in the game if you do progress to near max level, will really make this build stand out amongst the rest because of the speed demon perk that you can get at rank 16 in body. Your starting attributes for this build is reflexes 6, body 5, and cool 5. Now on to perks. Whether you want to focus on handguns or rifles is really up to you. However, I highly recommend assault for your main skills so that you can focus on the automatic rifles and the SMGs. And most of the perks in this line are valuable except the ones that have you hiding behind cover or standing still. We can avoid those ones, but some key ones that stand out in the assault line are named bullets, increase critical damage with rifles and submachine guns by 35%. Feel the flow, reduce reload time for assault rifles and submachine guns by 10%. Shoot, reload, repeat. Defeating an enemy with a rifle or a submachine gun reduces reload time by 20% for 5 seconds. And bullet jock increases damage overall for your rifles and submachine guns. Any of these perks that I do mention, you should be maxing out if you do have the available perk points, which you will get as you do level up the skill lines and earn those extra points. In body, what you want to focus on here for athletics is invincible to increase your maximum health by 10%. Cardio cure, which health regenerates 25% faster as you move because we're constantly going to be moving, so you want to trigger that health regen. The regeneration perk, health slowly regenerates during combat. Wolverine, health regen activates 50% faster during combat. Dog of War increases health regen in combat by 15%. And there's a couple of stamina perks in this line which you can ignore, something like True Grit, because as you progress and increase your body, you can get things like the Like a Butterfly perk where dodging doesn't drain stamina, and marathon, so sprinting doesn't drain stamina either. This will mean that you're not really going to use that stamina anyway, so you don't need to waste the perk points on True Grit. Divided Attention allows you to reload while sprinting, sliding, and vaulting, and Multitasker allows you to shoot while sprinting, sliding, and vaulting. Both of these are highly important for this build so that you can move around constantly. Your movement is never broken, and you can just keep moving around freely. In the Annihilation line, Speed Demon, what we talked about before, if you do have enough body, is super important to get as you do deal more damage the faster you're moving. Momentum Shift, defeating an enemy increases movement speed by 10% for 10 seconds. Manic, when entering combat, your movement speed increases by 20% for 10 seconds. And Dead Center is also important because we are using the auto aim from the smart targets. It's not always going to aim at heads. You will be hitting torso a lot, and Dead Center increases damage to torsos by 10%, and you can level up these perks as well as the perks in the body section as well. In the cool line, there's a couple of stealth perks that you should pick up, and then everything else in the cold blood line. So in the stealth line, from the shadows, upon entering combat, crit chance increases by 25% for 7 seconds, and cheat death, so when your health drops below 50%, reduce all incoming damage by 50% for 10 seconds. This perk will help you stay alive when you are taking some damage, and from the shadows is all about that extra crit chance, so you are critting. Because you're going to be using the auto target, we can't actually automatically trigger a headshot by actually hitting the head. So you want to maximize your crit chance so you can just get straight crits from the amount of hits that you're having on the enemy. In the cold blood line, you kind of want to pick up every perk that's here because most of them are really valuable. Cold blood triggers when you do kill an enemy, and it is a buff that will give you various bonuses based on the perks that you have chosen in this line. The key ones that you should pick up is Will to Survive, which increases all resistances by 1.5 per stack of cold blood. Pain is an illusion. While cold blood is active, it reduces the damage taken by 5%. Merciless, while cold blood is active, increase crit chance by 10% and crit damage by 25%. You should be picking up most of the perks in cold blood and leveling them up to their higher levels, except for the ones that clearly don't work in this build, like the ones that increase your melee damage, for example. Now, in terms of equipment, any critical hit damage or hit chance should be modded onto your armor. So anything that increases your critical hit chance or critical hit damage is really important so that you can trigger as many crits as possible. For weapons, obviously we want to focus on any smart weapons here, so things like pistols, snipers, shotguns, SMGs, the likes, really anything that's a smart weapon. I personally prefer to use an automatic weapon like an assault rifle or an SMG, so you can just hold down the shoot button and sprint around. Divided We Stand is a decent smart SMG that you can get from a side quest called Stadium Love, which involves the 6th Street Gang. This is a primary weapon that I have used for this build mostly, and other than that, smart weapons aren't readily available from the common gang members. You're not going to be picking up a lot of smart weapons on the ground, so you may have to go to a weapons vendor if you are struggling to find one. In terms of cyberware, you could pick up like the double jump, for example, but it's not required for this build. It's just more about the fun aspect of being able to double jump around while you're shooting. Something you should pick up is Bio Monitor, which heals you when your health drops below a certain percent. This is really important so you don't have to stop and heal. You can keep on the move and you get a little bit of health regen from that. You should also get the cyberware mod that slows down time when you do slide or dodge. This is just fun in general, but I think I've recommended this in like every build that I've made, but it is really important so that you can move your cursor or your controller around, make sure you're targeting enemies, and it just gives you a bit more control of the lay of the land in front of you. You will also need the smart targeting grip on your hand so that you can actually use the smart targeting reticule. You can buy this from Ripperdocs, however you can get a free one from Wakako when you do get out of Act 1, and you can go visit her directly. You can complete a quest with her and she will give you one for free, so you don't actually have to pay the extra eddies to get one. In terms of some build tips, you will run out of ammo very quickly with this build, so be sure to keep an eye on your ammo stocks, craft some more if you need, or buy some from vendors if you are running low. Sometimes the target reticule will get confused, so stop shooting for a second. Aiming down sights can actually help this. I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it's just there's too many enemies on the screen, but I have noticed it sometimes will wig out a little bit. Because of this, I also usually have like a power or a tech weapon as my third weapon, just in case I do need to switch to something else so that I can finish off a target that maybe the reticule won't attack for some reason. But otherwise, this build is pretty simple. Just move around, have fun, use the speed boost, deal a ton of damage, and just zoom around the battlefield. The more you're moving, the easier it is for enemies to miss you, and the more damage you're going to do, as when you kill enemies, you will get some health regen back. So just keep killing, keep grinding, have a good time. If you want more Cyberpunk content, check out my how to make a build video, which goes through all of the attributes and the skills and how to kind of put a build together. I'll have that linked on the screen for you. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch, where I stream 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday Australian night times. Hope to see you guys there in the next stream. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Norza, and I hope you have a great day.